Not sure if this is going to be a good one or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Fragments and fragmental. Oh, I don't put much faith and stock in wellness coaches and psychologists and armchair psychology. Science does not explain everything, only the cases that they have on file. Anything new they have to study. Fragments, let me go back to that. I don't want to get too far off the beaten trail. Let me see if I can break this down just a bit. Fragments. Now, I could drone on for 23 minutes and give you 23 ways to meditate. I could do that. Some of you will not find one that worked for you and then, oh, he a fake, he a fraud. Some will find it right away. But let's go back to the ones who feel like the fraud. For the purposes of this video and the point that being made here, I ain't gonna hold your hand. At some point, you have to do your own work. Now, for those of you who would not find one in the 23 of them, were I there to tell you, wait a minute, number 11 does work for you, but you have to switch, tweak it. So instead of fire, you might use earth and wind, but you won't know that if you don't do your own work. I ain't gonna be there to hold your hand. You got to do your own work. That's how it works. Even from a worldly standpoint, I made reference to Juilliard before. Even if you're talented and gifted, you got to work to get in, you got to work to stay, and you got to work to graduate. Same principle. Oh, don't worry, I ain't going to open up the comments for a bunch of infighting. I ain't going to do that. But let's continue with fragments. Now, I give myself permission to tell my own story. I won't tell no one else's. So use me as an example. My visions. Oh, in the earlier days, it was, I was a bit reckless. You know, I would go in my astral form and I'd walk around and explore in places I had no business going. And I actually did get my image caught on camera. They don't know it. And all they would need is a mirror to find it. But they would also need to know where and when, and I ain't gonna tell you that. Wisdom combined with experience and knowledge, that even in the government's or whoever's secret places, you can't hide from me. If it has a particular resonation, a regular power or vibration, is going to call out to me. My conscious or subconscious or astral form is going to be drawn to it. Now, when there is an item imbued with energy, vibration, power, and it call out to you, it brings you to a specific place at a specific time where you're meant to be at that moment when it's safe. So I learned mastery, and mastery dictate that I stay right where I'm called to be. So I'm not fragmental, and I don't think the gifted really are fragmental or see in fragments. I think they go exactly where they're supposed to go at the time they're supposed to be there. Or I could drone on and tell you about this facility in Uganda where there's dirt on the right, dirt on the left, grass in the middle, consistent with vehicle traffic, and there's a gate there, and it has all kinds of wonderful signs on there, including this is government property, you can be arrested, prosecuted, shot. And I could tell you that beyond that fence, the property is not that remarkable. But inside that building, you take the elevator down to sub-level 3, a whole nother world opens up. It's like a whole new world down there below the surface. Now, you paying attention to what I'm saying, you won't know because you don't have access to that facility. But those who do know what I'm talking about gonna want to know how I know what I'm talking about, especially if they can't put me physically there. Now, what's gonna happen is a bunch of people gonna be following me around, phone gonna click, gonna sound like an echo in the background when I'm talking to people. Worst case scenario, an investigator shows up at my door, knocks on the door, and asks for me. Now, spending a bunch of time around a bunch of ignorant people is not my idea of fun. They know the right answer, but through process of elimination, they'll go through a bunch of extraordinary and unnecessary steps, including but not limited to process of elimination. You already know the answer. You can't put me physically there. You can't put me in any kind of contact with anyone who would know. You have no record, no track of that. So how do I know? Your first answer is usually the right one if you're intuitive. Or you don't have to believe. Don't have to. But common sense would tell you if you can't put me there, but I know stuff, and you can't find a link, then something else must be true. That's why they're always 2 steps behind. Better for me, but I did trespass on government property. I'm going to tell you that simple and plain because I'm unbothered and I don't fear them. Yeah, I said it. And I said it again. You can rewind it and play it again. I said it. I said it before. I said it again. Yes. Astral projection, projecting my consciousness. I've done it. And I'm going to do it again. As long as there's an item that does not belong to them that calls out to me, I will go there, absorb as much of that energy as I can or it wants to give, and then I'll bring it back. Oh, I've been doing that too with crystal stones and gems. Been doing that, absorbing energy, bringing it back. Been doing it. Unbothered by telling you my own story. I believe what you want, but you don't have access to all of the cases and what we all can do. I'm going to leave it there.